Hi, Shweta Shikha this side from VideoTailor. We are a wedding photography company with a true blend of technology, innovation and endeavor. We had an amazing opportunity to have a dialogue with the elite group of wedding planners and decorators from Delhi for the article published in Hindustan Times Portal. We received great insights and real-life bizarre stories that will help you in planning your wedding. As said by Albert Einstein, information is not knowledge. The only source of knowledge is experience. And who better than the top wedding planners of India can tell you about the things that can go wrong or right in a wedding? Let us start with Baarati Inc., with whom we are mesmerized on how well they have decoded the art of wedding planning. Shweta and Shikha from Baarati Inc. has shared great insights on how to work with your budget, the locations to consider for weddings, and how to prepare for emergencies.
We see many a times couples come with, oh, we've sorted our budget out. We know that we need a hotel, we need rooms, we need food, we need artists. And I'm like, what about your licenses? What about your guest experiences? What about your transfers from the hotel? Where is the travel and logistics at? And all of that is something that they go like, oh, we didn't know that. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. You don't need to know that, but you need to account for these things because eventually when we start planning, you want everything. What is the perfect destination? A perfect destination is that which fits your budget, not in totality. So you cannot say, I want to spend X and then that entire X is on the destination for stay. Again, you're missing out on everything else. So you cannot, so that's number one. Does your destination need logistics? Are you going to be providing for the guests to get there? So a lot of things depend on pinning down that what is that perfect destination or that destination that you want to get married. Apart from just saying, oh, I want a royal wedding, I want a beach wedding, I want a forest wedding. That's all great, superb. But how do we pin it down, right? So I think that's one part. And the second part, in my opinion, I think India has a lot to cater. We just love looking outside, unfortunately. So be a little bit more experimental. Go down south. There is great opportunity to do your weddings. You have Mahabalipuram, you have Kovalam, you have Andamans, you have go towards the west. Don't go to Bombay, go to Karjat, go to the other places that are around, Lonavala. You have Alibag, for example. You have so many experiential places there. You can go north, go to Kashmir. You have literally, world tourism accepts us as one of the most beautiful destinations in the world. But we are scared to go, right? We don't want to go south because of the food might not match our taste. So I think we need to cut that clutter of saying, I want the same that is happening. If you actually are looking for perfection or you're looking to be experimental, then go out there.
There was a wedding where, so usually when we're doing a big fat Indian wedding at a destination, we tell people that, you should have a fire brigade, you should have an ambulance. And people say, no, we don't need this. But I genuinely feel that it's required because you never know what can come your way. We have done a destination wedding where every day there was a medical emergency. And I think just because I was mentally prepared, I'm somebody, when I'm planning a wedding, I also look into the worst case scenarios. I'll be the devil's advocate. I'll tell you, okay, this can go wrong. This will go wrong. So you better be prepared. This will happen. So I think that was one wedding where the family actually till date comes back to me that, if you weren't there to handle that situation the way you did, I don't think we could have done that. And not just the main family members, but also who was actually going through the medical emergency and all. I'm still in touch with them.
If you hire people to manage certain sections of your wedding, take your time to know them and then eventually trust them. You cannot hire smart people and then tell them how to do their work. You have to rely on that team's experience and their professional, working ways, because they definitely have master that experience, and that's the reason why you're talking to them in the first place. So don't hire smart people and handle them like they're not smart. Let the people do their job.
Anisha Verma from Riwaaz and Rishte has some insight on what makes a wedding planning difficult and also what makes Delhi a preferred location for wedding.
I think the most challenging is when you have a difference of opinion between the parents and the couple. Because then the parents expect you to make the couple understand how it should be done their way and vice versa. And that puts you in a very tough spot. See, we cater to the families, we cater to the couple, that's the whole idea. And I think everything else said and done, this issue, that issue, but the main issue is when the family has an issue with some things internally, but it comes to you as a wedding planner to solve it. I think that is the main thing for me. You are not obliged to invite everybody that invited you for the wedding. It is all right if you don't. Don't stick to the facts, because that's what we hear, right? कि उन्होंने बुलाया था तो हमें भी बुलाना है. Get away from it. Just invite people that suit you the best. We've done weddings, we've planned weddings at n number of cities, at n number of locations, but the only reason I feel I would still prefer Delhi as a destination is you've got mix of everything. You want a farm, you have a farm. You want top hotels, you have top hotels. You want boutique hotels, you have boutique hotels. So I think it's anything that any city, whatever city that offers you, you have it in Delhi as well. It'll save a lot on your logistics. You can use that money, put it in a good decor, put it at a good place in Delhi. And of course, every other hotel or every other city also has the time restrictions, right? So there is nothing that is taking away from Delhi for you to go away from Delhi.
Let us know some tips on hiring an artist for your wedding from the Design Atelier team. And let us know some unexplored destination weddings in India.
A client wants to have an artist on a sangeet or a wedding, impromptu names are very, very limited. ये वाले bands हैं, ये वाले artists हैं, इनको बुला लीजिए, उनको बुला लीजिए. There's a certain amount which is attached to them. So there's a certain budget allocation which we give them in their mind. कि अच्छा इतने पैसे लगेंगे आपके. So what we do is we try and scout a little more. Our groundwork and research is a little different as compared to others. We try and do our research on people who are budding. People who will be popular in the next 2 years or 3 years, but they will work much harder today to give the value for money to my clients, to give them that experience. So that is where we always tell them, don't go by the norm, don't go by what is prevalent, don't go by what is popular. If you want it, great, we are there to give it to you. But you should always explore, because one who is budding today will be one of the greats tomorrow. So that way they'll land up saving that cost or spending it somewhere where they really want to, and yet give them an experience which is better than the other one. So these are the kind of patterns we work on.
What is the most difficult thing to handle in a wedding?
Emotions. Very, very challenging. And to keep calm, to understand, to see people going through their ups and downs. People have bouts of happiness, people have their breakdowns. It is a very, very difficult thing. And I would rather say extremely interesting, and that is our reason to be in the industry in the first place. Of course, everybody wants to earn, but to be a part of somebody's happy moment is a rarity, you know. So luckily we get to be a part of everybody's happy times, but it is such a huge process emotionally, draining yet satisfying at the end of the day, that is extremely difficult. But if you do a good job and if you see the smile at the end of the day, it's extremely satisfying.
Let us hear from Sumit on how they handle a very tricky, unexpected situation.
We had a wedding in COVID, which we had our own regulations from the hotel, and obviously because of certain regulations, mask, PPE kit and everything. So it was very tough what we were doing. Then the bride was very adamant on a lot of things in terms of the designing. We got the special permissions for a lot of things. Like we had signed approximately 100 disclosure agreements with the hotel ki if something goes wrong you are liable, if this goes wrong you are liable. So in case agar kuch bhi galat jata to we had to pay around 3 crores. Hamara saaf seedha ho gaya tha. But over there what happened ki she wanted to have a terrace fairas, let's say, but वहाँ पे allow नहीं कर रहे थे रात को, because practically that hotel doesn't allow any events or anything to happen after 5 or 6, because it's in a VIP zone and a government zone area and all. So we took the special permissions and everything. Of course her dad also helped in it. But जब पूरा setup ready हो रहा था, मंडप को ready होना था, तो problem आ गई कि ऊपर सामान नहीं जा सकता अब, बिकॉज जो उसका डायामीटर्स थे जो बनवाया था हमने मंडप, वो इतना भारी था और इतना बड़ा था कि वो सीढ़ियों से आ ही नहीं सकता था. It was not a huge setup. So we have to took a lot of permissions. Of course, my partner Yachna has a lot of connection got used in it. We got to know कि इसको बस एक ही तरीका है, अब बाहर से इसको पुल करो फिजिकली. होटल हेल्प नहीं करेगा, कुछ भी टूटा तो तुम्हें पैसे देने उस चीज़ के, और ऊपर आना, बिकॉज ब्राइड ने भी बोल दिया कि मेरे को यही चाहिए, आई नीड दैट बैकग्राउंड ऑफ दिल्ली. सो उस टाइम पे बहुत ज़्यादा वो हो गया था, बिकॉज मंडप एक तो था कि हमारा एस्टिमेटेड था पूरा सेटअप नीचे का रेडी करके दे देना 8 बजे तक, और शादी का मंडप को रेडी होने में अपने में 6 घंटे लगे, बिकॉज 3 घंटे तो उस ऊपर के डायरे को ऊपर लाने में लगे. सो हम जैसे तैसे ऊपर लाए, रेडी हुआ, फिर उसके डैड आया एंड ही वाज लाइक कि नहीं इस पोजीशन को पीछे कर दो, क्योंकि मुझे ये सेटअप समझ नहीं आ रहा है, थोड़ा बहुत आगे हो रहा है, इसको थोड़ा पीछे करो, बैकग्राउंड दिखना चाहिए, दिल्ली में शादी कर रहे हैं ये वो एंड ऑल. सो दैट वॉज वन थिंग. इट वॉज अ डिजास्टर्स नाइट, लेट्स से. कुछ हुआ नहीं, उनको तो कुछ पता ही नहीं चला, गेस्ट को कुछ पता नहीं चला, बट हमारे लिए इट वॉज टोल, बिकॉज रात के 2-2 बजे लोग गाड़ियों में घूम रहे हैं कि परमिशंस कहाँ से मिलेंगी, और कितने लोगों को फ़ोन किया फ्रॉम GM टू हेड ऑफ दैट ग्रुप ऑफ कंपनीज एंड ऑल, बट हाँ, वी पुल्ड इट ऑफ.
Aarti Gupta from the Dreams Wedding Planner, who is doing a crazy number of more than 250 weddings a year, would share the impact of Bollywood on Indian weddings and some unexplored international wedding location options.
I would say, like, for the Bollywood, of course, it definitely impacts us, because, you know, whenever like we got a client and they have a thought of like, okay, Alia Bhatt is being like wearing this kind of lehenga and this kind of mandap, we really want that. They want especially like the bride entry, if you talk about, they especially want that, like, okay, Alia Bhatt has been coming, like, or Kiara's one, like, which is being like most famous, like, so latest one is like the Kiara, she has been walked like with this simple dance and coming along with this. So it's always like Bollywood always impacts us, their dress, designing, like their weddings, their setups. So we always create like that same, we do that, we fulfill that wish. I would say like the because we do 250 weddings, so of course there is a lot of requirements, I must say. Turkey is one of the destinations which is being, I would say, like it's still unexplored for the weddings, but many of wedding has been recently covered, I would say, for the Turkey. This is being like a beautiful, like Antalya, Bodrum, and you talk about like Istanbul, like it's being like beautiful, you know, you can see like for the people, like you can see like the nice temperature. Temperature is not being like that hot or cold, it's being like the mesmerizing 25 degree of temperature is being there, 20 degrees there, so you can like enjoy it because you can see like the mountains and the beach at the same time. This is the beauty of the destination, I would say, like I haven't seen like anywhere like more. And the second, if I would give it a recommendation, you must check like for the Muscat. It's a nice one, you all must go, like I would say, like it's a good. And third is Bahrain, I would say, like their people is being aggressively working for this, and they are giving the nice, I would say, a nice approach. They understand the Indian wedding, their food, the culture, and everything is being like more and being similar.
An interior designer turned into a successful wedding planner, Neha Mehrotra Suri from the Foreign Wedding Planners has some interesting things that client asks their wedding planners and her favorite recommended wedding destinations.
There's this one client who was very passionate about their pets. So they asked us to make these cocktails, 4 cocktails behind 4 of their dead dogs. And all the cocktails had to match the color of the coat of their, you know, dogs. So, and they were named as per the dog's name. So, I mean, it was something that was very difficult, and we laughed our way through all throughout, and similar many instances keep on happening, you know. So yes, okay, like there was this one client who said, I love the hotel and everything, I love the property, but I don't like the curtains. So tell them if they can change the curtains, I can sign the contract. So that was very funny. Then there are a lot of these hotels abroad where you have a very how do I put it, see-through bathroom and bedroom partitions, right? And the client's mother was not okay with it. She says, I don't like the idea. Okay, this is invasion of privacy. So we would like you to change this partition, cover it, put a cloth or whatever you can. But of course, these things are not possible. In terms of favorite destination, I would say in India, it has to be Udaipur. And abroad, I am still in love with Thailand. There are some very undiscovered properties and undiscovered cities which have not been really explored, and I think they have huge potential. I think Corona has given us a very different insight, I'm sure India was beautiful from the beginning, but people had this weird craze of, getting married abroad. And when they felt that they could afford it, it was possible to get married abroad, they were actually wanting to go there rather than explore Indian destinations. However, now I think a lot of people are looking at India, not only because of the fact that, Corona happened and all that stuff. People want smaller groups. They're okay with intimate wedding. They realize that calling 200, 300 packs is not the criteria. It is the quality that matters. So they are very keen on looking at smaller places. Places like Siliguri, Mahabalipuram, Darjeeling, Mashobra. I'm not talking about the main hill stations. I'm talking about the smaller ones, which are very good.
Archana Goyal from Octave Events has some funny moments to share and how their team went out of the way to make things right in the state of urgency.
Normally, that was the first wedding that we did, in Taj Damdama. They never allow people to, use the pool for a, engagement. So, so we created a complete ramp. It was during the winters. So, getting the labor into the pool, we had to actually give them drinks, alcohol, so that they could warm up themselves up and get into the pool, because at the freezing point, getting into the pool and placing everything was a difficult task. But that worked out so beautifully and with no damage to the pool, because they never allow that. Taj properties don't allow it, and we did for them.
And Adyut Koyal has some really heartfelt message to the young couples.
So what I feel is that to make your wedding memorable, you have to keep the things simple. You have to stick to the rituals which we have been following. So nowadays we get a lot of queries that we want to do this particular theme in the bridal entry, in the groom entry. But what I feel is that the groom entry has to be with his friends and his cousins, and the bride entry has to happen with the brothers holding the folo ki chadar. That's the most elegant and the most beautiful way. And those memories are something which remain with you for a lifetime. I mean, doing a grand entry with dancers and holes and multiple other things with the themes and all, it adds up to my pocket. I can earn more with that. But what happens is, after a couple of years down the line, you forget all those things, because the memories are the most enriching things which have to be there in your life. And I also always request my clients that whatever money you're spending on the wedding, do some charity also. Make a small part of your wedding budget to put in for charity, because blessings are what go a long way, rather than just spending money on pomp and show.
Puneet and Prateek Budhiraja, a successful twin brother event planners, have a very straight and simple message for the couples and how the beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder.
It's an emotional connect between emotional connect. वो कहते हैं कि डॉक्टर और एडवोकेट के साथ कभी झूठ नहीं बोलना चाहिए, सब बता देना चाहिए. मेरे को लगता है अपने प्लानर को भी ना सब बता देना चाहिए, ताकि तुम्हारी स्टोरी अच्छी निकल के आ जाए. इससे रिलेटेड अपने प्लानर को सब बता देना चाहिए, तुम्हारी स्टोरी बहुत अच्छी निकल के आएगी. और जहाँ पे तुम प्लानर के साथ ऐसे हो कि यार तू देख ले, तो वो जो हम यूनिक चीज़ें करना पाते हैं ना, कि हमेशा ऐसा होता है कि जब व्हेन वी नो द लव स्टोरी बिहाइंड द वेडिंग, हमारे पास हमेशा यूनिक आइडियाज़ होते हैं उनके लिए पर्सनलाइज चीज़ें करने के लिए. बट जहाँ पे वो नहीं होता है ना हमारे पास, तो हमको खुद की तरफ से इनपुट्स करने होते हैं, बट वो कभी कनेक्ट जाता है, कभी कनेक्ट नहीं जाता है. मैं तो हमेशा एक चीज़ कहता हूँ, शादी एक ऐसा बिजनेस है, या शादी एक ऐसी चीज़ है जिसमें 1000 अच्छाइयाँ और 1000 बुराइयाँ भी हैं. आप कितने से बड़ा प्लानर ले लो, आप कितने से बड़ा डेकोर वाला ले लो, कोई माइका लाल ले लो, गलती सबके काम में होगी. आप देखना क्या चाह रहे हैं, वो आपकी आंखें पॉजिटिव चीजें देख रही हैं तो आपको पॉजिटिव ही दिखेगी. हमेशा चाहे एक प्लानर है चाहे एक क्लाइंट है, यू शुड ऑलवेज गो विद द पॉजिटिव एनर्जी.
Mansi from Wedlag has a very interesting story of a wedding they covered in Italy.
Usually what happens in international weddings is the groom, they usually come in vintage cars or things like that, but the groom here was very determined on the fact that he wants to come on a ghodi, So, and here, you don't have those Indian ghodis who can, handle the barat and everything. So we sent the accessories and all the clothes for the ghodi from India, and we had a jockey ghodi there. But we sent all the clothes and everything of the ghodi from India, and we decorated that because the groom really wanted it. And then we had the barat, which from the one gate of the villa, it came out on the main road, and then we had local people from Lake Como who joined the barat, and they were dancing, and everyone was having so much fun, and it was all so beautiful, and the pictures and all, it came out so nice, and everyone was seeing that that happiness and positivity was around. We had taken a lot of stuff, all the giveaways, because the client was Punjabi and they were US based, so they wanted everything, as much as possible things to be from India, because the couple, they had their friends who were from different parts of the world, so very less Indian friends. So they wanted to showcase their culture as much as possible. So we had taken a lot of giveaways like potlis, bangles, bindis, all those stuff from here. And we had taken linen from here, so for all the events like the table covers, cushion covers, because we've designed that, so we've taken the linen from here.
Megha from Moon Cloud Events has a very beautiful tip for couples before they start with their wedding planning, plus she's emphasizing on the importance of penning down everything before you start.
When we talk about tips to plan a wedding, the first thing is the date. If you have the date in hand, just make sure to have 2 to 3 alternate dates, because if one of the venues is not available, then you can go for other venue or maybe other date as well. So I make sure to ask to the client or the couple to find out 2 to 3 dates, and it's about the date. Other than date, you need to finalize and make a timeline for your whole wedding. When you have to do the venue, when you have to complete the vendor listing, when you have to complete the decor listing, when you have to complete the execution and the guest list part. So one of the best tip from a wedding planner's perspective to the client, to the couple, is that make sure to detail everything, to pen down everything in a form of a document, in the form of an Excel sheet, in the form of a notes as well. You can always write down the perspective that you have for your wedding. Maybe a planner can give you an idea or a brief or the practicality of it, but you should know that what you are doing.
Abhiram from Showtime Events will now tell you on how to keep hope and look for a solution when things don't go as planned. As they say, make hay when sun shines.
हमने लास्ट वेडिंग किया था कॉर्बेट में, ओपन एरिया था, विदाउट एनी वेदर फोरकास्ट हमने पूरा रिसर्च किया था। अचानक से बारिश आई, हमें समझ नहीं आया कि वी हैड डन द ऑल सेटअप्स एंड ऑल। और इसी वेडिंग में टाइम भी लिमिटेड है, यू कैन नॉट पोस्टपोन द थिंग्स एंड ऑल, यू हैव टू डू एवरीथिंग इन दैट फ्रेम, एंड यू कैन नॉट वेट फॉर द टाइम की बारिश से स्टॉप हो जाए, देन वी विल डू द थिंग्स। हमने थीम तो कुछ और क्रिएट कर रखा था वहाँ पे, बट सडनली वी एंड आवर टीम प्लान की रेन डांस थीम करते हैं। सी, ये एक अचानक से आइडिया। वी बॉट सम कलरफुल अम्ब्रेलास फ्रॉम द मार्केट एंड वी शूट सो मेनी वीडियोज़ एंड ऑल। हमने बैकग्राउंड में कुछ एक इंडोर एरिया लेके म्यूज़िक चलाया, पूरा थीम, उनके जितने गेस्ट थे उनको हमने कपल डांस कराया, ग्रुप डांस कराया, पूरा रेन डांस थीम का नाम दिया हमने सडनली थीम चेंज करके, एंड पूरा वो रिचुअल्स हुए उनके उसी बीच में।
Pawan from the wedding curator shares a laugh and insight on how to have a fun-filled wedding.
For the couples is just to remember all the moments, यार क्या अच्छा था क्या था, and then start planning on that. शादी तो हो जाएगी, फेरे भी हो जाएंगे, but how we want to do it. और शादी में कपल से ज़्यादा ना रिश्तेदार मजे लेते हैं। So it's more fun for the friends and the family. And the surprises. That is the most important thing. Giving surprises on every moment. So we always try to keep a surprise date for